So here's my take on Elon Musk and what just happened. So obviously Tesla stock took a nosedive after Elon Musk lost his marbles. And in fairness, he's screaming what all of us scream about the government. The government is inefficient, we waste too much money, we spend too much money. But it's kind of like, I can't think of a good analogy. Like, why is the Pope Catholic? Well, he always is. Why do politicians spend money? Because they always do. That's just the nature of the beast. And I'm not here to endorse politicians. I hate politics. I think it's scummy, it's slimy, it's party politics. Even if your opponent says something right, you have to pretend with lies or made up data that they're wrong, and vice versa. Like, that's politics. It's a nasty, nasty business because everybody wants to stay in power. They get power, they get money, and they get reelected. That's how the game works, okay? So here's my take with Elon Musk. Elon Musk told us the truth. Politicians waste money. We all already knew that. But Elon Musk went a little far. He goofed. He oopsied. He done a little booby doobie, a little poopy doopy. When you alienate yourself from Democrats, you win a lot of supporters on the Trump side, the Make America Great Again movement. When you then attack the core job that the MAGA movement is trying to pull off in Congress right now, the big beautiful bill, tax cuts, no tax on tips, greater tax benefits for those on Social Security. It was supposed to be no taxes on Social Security, but the big beautiful bill doesn't include that right now. Ending the sort of Green New Scam, as Trump called it, by removing things like electric vehicle tax credits or solar panel credits or battery credits for manufacturing and purchasing, whatever. What you end up doing is really you're fulfilling the campaign promises of the Trump administration. The tax cuts, the basically cut and spend programs, which are very normal. And over the long term, these sort of bills that get squeezed through budget reconciliation tend to increase the debt. So what Elon is saying is right, and he's echoing a sentiment of Americans. But Elon went a little far. And when I say a little far, he went a lot far. And apparently, he's now deleted all of his angry tweets, like Trump is in the Epstein files. Any of the backlash that we previously talked about from Elon against Trump has mostly now been deleted. And as soon as you get to this weekend, you look at the 7th and the 8th, look at what you see. You get old Elon back. Elon's talking about civilization, stars and galaxies. He's talking about the 1930s. Okay, big deal. He's talking about one day we'll occupy Mars. Here are rockets. Let's talk about Optimus. Let's talk about Starlink. Optimus. Let's retweet Kathy Wood. Let's talk about how humble Elon is. Let's talk about Kathy Wood some more. Let's talk about Tesla overtaking BYD in European May sales. I wonder if those are just EV as opposed to all vehicles. Either way, BYD is getting a big push in Europe right now, mostly in this trade war that's sort of lit a match under that fire. Let's talk about SpaceX, retweet some Babylon Bee stuff, talk about how great X is, destroying vehicles are bad. That's okay. In fact, Make California America Again, kind of like an ode to Make America Great Again, right? Similarities. You actually got the American flag from Elon Musk on a J.D. Vance quote tweet that this moment calls for decisive leadership. Here's what I think happened. I think Elon Musk got a little text message doodle, maybe even a phone call, and it basically went something like this. Elon, if you say anything bad about my party or what we're doing in politics, you will go from having been a friend to being the #1 target of my administration. We will destroy SpaceX, Tesla, shove your robo-taxis up your ass, and Neuralink will be bankrupt tomorrow. And I think Elon, once he sobered up, woke up and is like, oh, fuck. And now the tweets are deleted. Now Elon Musk is back to his happy-go-lucky self with rockets and Optimus. Tesla is doing better in Europe. And basically, he got the worst threats he could have possibly gotten. I would go as far as saying they may have even have threatened to make Elon disappear. Something like a random text message that says, keep shitting on Trump and you will be dead soon. no amount of security will keep you alive, and you'll never get to Mars. Something like that. I wouldn't put it past. The Trump administration is so rich and powerful at every level of this government that I think there's almost zero chance that Elon did not get completely showered with a realization of the political machine that he attacked. Elon went as far as taking credit for the election, which in fairness, I think Elon's help to help elect Donald Trump probably was very impactful to the Trump campaign. But usually when you don't donate, you don't go up to somebody and say, hey, I donated, so, now take care of me. Or you don't boast about your donations. You don't brag about that, right? Elon was going that far about bragging and taking credit for the win and basically how he owns Donald Trump because of that. I think Elon got a really big dose of reality shocked into him. And that's why he's deleted his posts, because he doesn't want to die. He doesn't want his businesses to die. And he literally just saw Jesus Christ himself in the shape of an Optimus robot. Okay. I would love to be a fly on the wall to see how bad the threats were, because we publicly heard, I want to find this story. It was Trump threatens Elon Democrat funding, because Elon was threatening to fund Democrats. Trump threatens Elon Musk with very serious consequences if he bankrolls Democrats, basically funds Democrats. If he does, he'll have to pay the consequences for that. He'll have to pay very serious consequences if he does that. That's the public line. Imagine the private call that he got. I think Elon realizes his time in politics is over. It's time for him to move on. Now, what does that mean for Tesla stock? What actually probably means that the sell-off that we had was a little overly done. So Tesla stock right now is bobbing at about the 295 line, which is a very classic technical resistance line for Tesla. And we've come off about 347, which is where we were playing. In fact, I thought we were going to kind of coast at 347 until we got robo-taxis. But we dropped we dropped over 55 points because of this drama. Let's listen to, I want to hear it from their POV.
With President Donald Trump, where he had some of his most extensive comments yet regarding Elon Musk and Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The big takeaway from his comments on Musk, when I asked if their relationship is over, Mr. Trump said, I would assume so. He also told me he has no desire to repair ties with Musk. And he said he's more confident than ever that the big, beautiful bill can pass because he thinks Republicans are now more unified.
I love this hat. Trump was right about everything. It's kind of hard to wear that hat and then try to U-turn on him.
Because of how Musk treated him. The president also told me that Musk would face very serious consequences if he funded Democratic candidates in the next election. When I asked the president what those would be, he wouldn't say. Now, as for his comments on...
we would kill him. We would kill him like a dog.
Abrego Garcia, that's the Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador, who's now been flown back to the United States to face charges of human trafficking. President Trump telling me he did not call the president of El Salvador to directly ask for Abrego Garcia's return. And the decision to bring him back, he said, was the Justice Department's. The president also believes it should be a very easy case, he said. Finally, President Trump admonished Democrats, calling them, quote, losers for rallying around Mr. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and said it would cost them in the next election. We'll talk about all of it.
Yeah, so I think what you see here is, I saw a comment here. Somebody said, oh, but Kevin, doesn't that basically make Trump a fascist? I think it makes him a very powerful politician. I would bet that this sort of stuff happens all the time. Think about it this way, okay? When Governor Newsom had a recall against him, I ran against him in the recall election. And then a year later, I get a letter like, Kevin, during your 32-hour live stream where you were doing stock analysis because people were donating to your campaign to fight Newsom, we think that was actually paid financial advice, and now we're going to fine you. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So I do a live stream like this, analyzing stocks as people are donating to the campaign, and then we happen to get fined. Like, you mess with the political machine, they'll come after you. And I think, like, what happened to the CEO of United Health, that could happen to anyone. And if you screw with people's politics, it could absolutely happen. So I think this U-turn by Elon and deleting these like Epstein tweets and like mark this tweet or whatever, I think that was life-saving for Elon. And honestly, I'm not trying to say that to be like hyperbolic or like, oh, let's like, it's gonna be good for the clickbait, bro. Like, I truly believe that. I told Lauren, I'm like, if he doesn't stop, he's going to disappear. Now, we expected that he would stop, right? I mean, like, the odds of him disappearing were like 2% because the odds of him stopping were 98%. But it was so clear that what he was doing was going to be met with a shower of hell. I will rain hell upon you. You know, yeah. Like, more hell rained down on Elon than rains down on his character that somebody else plays for him when he pretends to be a top gamer in the world. That's my take. So anyway, yeah. Daniel Bay says, I sent him a picture of his house. Yeah, that's like the euphemism for I know where you live. E.T. says, it's like the mafia. Exactly. Respect on your name is everything. Totally agree. He haven't think through before he said, yeah, well, I don't think he does think through things. I think maybe sometimes he might be on a little bit of a high or something, and you know, things get written on Twitter while he's on the can, and there are things he ends up regretting. The Epstein comments were unnecessary. Well, that too, right? Like, I'm all for you pooping about government spending. But, like, come on, man. Like, everybody's seen the pictures of Trump with Epstein. Like, Epstein was a socialite, you know, involved with basically everyone. We get it. But, like, do you really go that far? I don't know, man. It's far. Anyway, I mean, it explains why Elon's quiet. And honestly, Tesla can just focus on robotaxi now. Heck, it's another opportunity to buy with a two-handle. Now, I still think the valuation is a little rich. I'll give you a quick little valuation update on it. Let's do that really quick. So let's just see. I will say, the growth forecasts for Tesla have been jumping. So, and these are the Wall Street growth forecasts. Like, my growth forecasts are different from what Wall Street's are. But I'll just use Wall Street for a second. So we expect 50.2% EPS growth, 31.8, 35, 49.7. There's a lot of growth. 41.68% growth year over year on EPS price built in right now. EPS for the end of the year, okay, let's go 295 divided by 1.91 equals divided by 41.68. Right now, this is trading for a 3.7 peg with these upped growth estimates. Honestly, a 3.7 peg is very, very rich for Tesla. And even if it were a full services business, it should be at like 2.69, right? So if I go 2.69 times 41.68 times 1.91, it's a $214 stock. So it's a 214, like if we could break 220, it's starting to get nice again, okay? As a manufacturing company, which already incorporates some of this new growth, as a manufacturing company, you should probably be at about $133. So the first $133 are the manufacturing value for Tesla. The next about $100 are the AI, robotaxi, Optimus kind of level. And then everything above like 220, you know, that extra $85 premium, $75 premium that's in there right now, is just sort of the premium for Tesla. Let's see if there's anything else on Elon and Elon-related news. Tesla, head of Optimus, leaves the trillion. Yeah, I did think this was interesting. Now, Fred Lambert is a bear. We know that. But it's a nice way to sort of consolidate some of the news. But it is surprising that after 9 years, the head of Optimus is leaving. I don't necessarily think that's like a bad thing, though. I mean, people always like to characterize it as like really bad. And sure, like if there's huge growth ahead, great. But I think it's probably because a lot of these employees, they'll look and be like, all right, come on, man. Like, we're a nearly $1 trillion business. Like, how much growth is there here? I could go to a little startup as a robotics engineer and, 20x my money. I can invest in house hack. I think that's what happens. And so these people kind of get bored and they move on. They're like, all right, how much more change can I really cause at this organization? So I'm not so convinced that's necessarily a horrible thing. I mean, it is sad to see sort of the head of the Optimus division dipping out, but let's listen to this just for a second.
Leave these Mexican flags in the air. Rioters were also burning the American flag. But on cue, the left is referring to the events as peaceful.
The vast majority of protesters there have been peaceful.
We see peaceful protests launching in Los Angeles.
We're seeing these mass raids happening in areas that are peaceful.
It started peacefully. People were there to protest. They're there to protest the mass deportation.
Okay. All right. So where was I? Oh, I was just going to look at this. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this says Goldman Sachs says self-driving vehicles to cut insurance costs. I agree with that. Tesla slips on downgrades. That's fine. Pair of downgrades. So that's all that you really have. Tesla falls as Bear downgrades on robotaxis and Musk spat. I mean, who cares? Like, that's a buy the dip opportunity. It's over. I don't. That's fine. Musk comments regarding robotaxi ramp rate are a bit too optimistic, and we believe this excitement has been priced into shares. I do think a lot of robotaxi excitement is priced in. Interesting, they still have a price target set at $320, which is, in my opinion, a little high. I'm very excited about Tesla long term. Tesla cut to hold at Argus. Okay, that's fine. Brutal Cybertruck depreciation plus regulatory hell equals dream crushed. What's this? Tesla Cybertrucks are depreciating rapidly. I just bought one! With a $100,000 2024 limited edition declining 39%. I hate the news. Ford's F-150 has overtaken the Cybertruck as the best-selling electric truck. Dude, man, what the hell? So I pull up to Wood Ranch 2 nights ago with Lauren and the boys, all right? I pull up to the front of Wood Ranch. We called ahead. 20-minute wait. No problem. So what I naturally do, what any normal American would do. I'm in my truck. I'm like, Lauren, you want to hang out in the AC at Wood Ranch? We'll drop you off. I'm going to take the boys, and we're going to go to Lowe's, and we're going to load up some dirt. Literally. I needed some soil. So I drop Lauren off, start rolling away. I get to Lowe's. I get a text message from Lauren. I wonder if I have it convenient here. Okay, so I get a text from Lauren as I drop her off. Oh, here it is. Some guys, as I walked up, said, "That is the ugliest car I've ever seen in my life." Lauren writes, "Nice on being discreet." Elon, you have left me a bag holder. Dream of selling 500,000 Cybertrucks is a distant reality. 2024 estimate 38,965,000 sales. 2025 estimates 34,000 sales. 2026 estimates 46,000. 2027 estimates 52,000. Pretty low estimates. Value cuts across Tesla make Porsche Taycan owners cringe. Oh, because the Porsche Taycan also lost a bunch of value and depreciation. $7,500 underwater Tesla loans equal risk for low cost model. Economic headwinds for customers who used loans to buy their cars. Oh, basically because a bunch of people bought Teslas with a loan and they're underwater because they've depreciated. And as a result, they're upside down and they can't trade in for new cars. So it's a risk for either new Tesla's market or otherwise. Interesting. All right. So that's my take on Elon and Tesla. Hey, quick reminder, if you want to earn a 5% yield plus all of the upside in my real estate startup, we are offering a non-accredited investor round where we will pay you a 5% yield plus you get all of the upside in the stock when your stock converts in the future. It gives you an opportunity to diversify away from rich stock market valuations, diversify away from most tariff risk, diversify away from the craziness of the treasuries market, especially with these Moody's downgrades. You diversify into fixer-upper real estate, which is what I believe I do best. This is my baby. I call it my little Berkshire Hathaway. Now, maybe I'm biased, but I've got over $5 million of my own money invested into this business, and I'm so excited for what I think we're going to be able to do with this business over not just the next years, but the next decades. So if you want to invest in my real estate startup, go to househack.com and know that I will do everything for this business in my power to make sure we can do the absolute best that we can. Make sure to read the solicitations and disclosures on the HouseHack website, because there is risk with every investment.